Aloha, friends and neighbors, and welcome to show 887 of Astrology, Ancient Science in the Modern World. We're going to cover the first week in December 2013 when I get to the sky mirror. My message to you here on this show is I'm looking back at what happened to astrology. Oh yeah, 2,000 years of the Dark Ages, age of Pisces in the church. But, some of it started raising its head again, and especially in the Western world, the British and the Americans, something happened. Now, Benjamin Franklin was an astrologer. Yes, he published an ephemeris, he made predictions. And one of his yearly Poor Richard's Almanac ephemerises, he spoke about this problem of what happened. Basically, he said that 3 of those gifted with Urania's talents went against her, against their better consciousness. And he named them. He named Newton and Whiston and Halley. And he said of the 3, only Whiston really recanted, and then he went ahead and published all these ridiculous predictions that Whiston made on comets about the. I'm gonna give you that on this show. Benjamin Franklin's commentary about the sad age that we live in. And the reason I'm doing it is because, well, one, I was watching Big Bang Theory. I like that show. And one of the nerds made fun and said, "Oh, I bet you believe in crystals and astrology, like we're back at square one, and astrology is back in the superstition, ridiculous kind of box." Well, next I was watching Ancient Aliens, which is hilarious if you substitute, instead of all these gods and Anunnakis, and these are just the planets, and these ancient cultures were always talking about the planetary influence and the spirits of the planets. And anyway, I get a lot of information. I see beautiful scenery and a lot of architecture that's very special. They put on the show. Of course, they always bring it back to, ancient alien theorists contend that the 3 wise men were actually aliens. That one came up. They'll turn anything into aliens, but one of the things they went after was the hollow earth theory. And turns out, bang, there was that name, Halley. The great astronomer Halley, Edmund Halley, who discovered Halley's Comet, was a believer in the hollow earth theory. And he said there was these great openings at the North and South Pole, and the inside of the earth was hollow, and it was livable. So Whiston went a little nuts, I'll show you that. Halley was a little nuts, hollow earth stuff. Newton was a little crazy from all the mercury poisoning he'd taken in his life, and he was a closet alchemist. They discovered one of his books with 1,000,000 words on alchemy, which is all astrology symbols. And so Newton was a closet alchemist who poisoned himself with mercury. And there is a story about how Newton stood up in the Academy. What is that fly? Stood up in the Academy of Science in Great Britain. All 3 of those men were the chairman of that academy. Anyway, there's a story that Newton stood up and chastised Halley for making a disparaging comment about astrology. And Newton said to Halley, "Sir, I have studied it, you have not." So that's all we got. But Benjamin Franklin nailed these 3 guys, and I just learned that Halley, besides just being a dude looking through telescopes, I don't have a lot of respect for that, but they slid in there and took on all the prestige of the astrologer that had been going on for 20,000 years. Anyway, Haley, hollow earth guy, another nutcase. All three of these guys were a little nutty, okay, that Ben Franklin blames for the demise of astrology in this sad age we live in. I'll show you the quote. Come on. That's what this show's about, Benjamin Franklin. Hey, let's take a look at the first week in December and see what the planetary pattern has in store for all of us, huh? Interesting to note, Venus trining Mars and Mercury stepped into the mix. And so we have Venus sextile Mercury, sextile Mars, which is very romantic. You're going to see young folks hanging out, holding hands, smaller kids, younger people in a romantic boyfriend-girlfriend sense, and you will probably feel a little extra horny and lusty during this time. Another really neat thing that's happening is the new moon, December 2nd, trines Uranus. At last, Uranus will have a chance to speak. Been a while. Just a note, there's my phone number. And if you want chart work, if you're a client or you want to do some updates or things, I might be out of town here January. I advise you to get your chart work done now. Give me a call. I'll fix you up. Well, what's the pattern of planets look like now? Well, the sun is in Sagittarius, going towards the middle of Sag. It's not too bad a time, trining Uranus. So here's Mars, trining Venus. Here's Mercury, sextile Mars, sextile Venus. Mars is in Virgo, and Venus is in Capricorn, a goatish, capricious sign. Anyway, the Sun squaring Neptune? We might get some truth about some of these phonies and actors. Let's take a look at it day by day. See what's happening. We're just going to run the moon around the planetary pattern. Moon goes around here once a month, and as it does, it makes angles to various things. Now here on Thursday night, about midnight, squares Jupiter. It's too much, can't sleep. Here Friday morning, you know, this is early, this is 2-3 a.m. in the morning, it squares Venus, and I can't get no sweets, no satisfaction. This is not a time for love. Friday morning, no. As you go through Friday, the 29th of November, after dinner, the moon changes into Scorpio right here. And when it does, all the vibes change. First, there's a nice sextile or trine to Neptune. And Neptune is the planet of Jesus. And music and art and bliss and imagination. Yes, so there's a lot of that around on Friday night, and it could be quite pleasant. You know, a nip or two might not hurt. Saturday morning, you're feeling pretty good. Everybody's nurturing. There's a nice sextile to Pluto. We feel powerful, you know, around breakfast, before lunch. New information coming out empowers us. And this Scorpio moon feels pretty good till you get closer and closer to this guy. It's Saturn. Oh boy, getting cold. It's a little tricky because here is the conjunction to Saturn, which occurs here 1, 2, 3, 6. This is about 7, 8 o'clock. And then as the moon goes a little further, here around midnight, it trines Jupiter. And our initial, oh, we got to pull back and be on a budget and be very careful, turns into, oh, we have enough and we get to go and do this, and it feels much better. So this is pretty good planning stage. Start by contracting Saturday night and then expand. And you could have quite a good time here on Saturday the 30th if you're careful. Venus is here Sunday morning. You could get a little
little bit of her action Saturday night. So this is altogether a pretty pleasant period, Saturday night, Sunday morning. The kids are happy. Stay in bed late Sunday. There's sweets around, if you know what I mean. And enjoy your Sunday, December 1st. It's quite a good time. There's no spoilers here until you get to late Sunday night. And here we are around 10, 11 o'clock Sunday night, and the moon squares Neptune, and there's confusion and delusion, and the actors are all on stage acting out again, you know, and there's drunks around. This is not a time to be out Sunday night. No, not a time to be out. Time to be at home and warm and cozy. So Monday morning, well, part of that is because the moon shifted into Sagittarius right here. And that's, you know, dinner time Sunday. You'll feel the change. It's from the happiness and the got our act together kind of stuff from the Scorpio moon. Once it goes into Sag, it all gets kind of scattered, and, you know, everything is moving a little too much. So Sunday night, Monday morning, confusion, delusion. But look at here. Here's before lunch and around the middle of the day on Monday, December 2nd, the sun, the moon, first of all, it makes a nice trine to Uranus. And the electric mind and the Aquarian spirit is alive again. Then there's a nice new moon. Yeah. And this one happens right here. It's around the middle of the day, Monday. It's a nice new moon if you're doing intellectual work, media work, if you want to get away from all the play acting that's been going on for the last month. Now we have a month of intellectual advancement and some respect for ancient science also. So Monday's a pretty good day. I'm going to watch this day kind of careful and really enjoy the change for the next month. Tuesday, the new electric vibes continue. Brotherhood and environmentalism is loose. Look out, you capitalist pigs. There's some anger around here. Tuesday, after dinner, there's a square to Mars, and people are impatient and angry. And, you know, ask yourself what you're protecting. There might be some physical work you could do to maintain things, fix things, clean things up, protect things in general is what you should be doing here Tuesday afternoon and evening. Wednesday, the moon is shifted into Capricorn again, and not again, but we got Neptune empowered briefly, and that happens late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Really, these lines represent 2 a.m. in the morning in Hawaii. So this is just about 2 a.m. in the morning when the inspiration happens. You'll all be asleep. By the time you get up, you try to go breakfast here between breakfast and lunch. Here's a square to Uranus. Here's the old Pluto-Uranus square. This thing has been making us all nervous and miserable for quite a long time. Here it is again. We have glitches. We have shakiness. We have whirlywinds. It all started here late Tuesday night.